Hi there and welcome back. And I am here to work on day 10 of Junk Journal January, and the prompt is layered. So what comes to mind when you think of layers? Let me know in the comments. First thing I thought of was cake, but that might be because I'm hungry. But I am going to put some layers in my journal. And the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to use some old book pages. So I like old book pages for this because, well, first of all, I love the way that they feel and the way that they smell and the way they absorb the matte medium, and they're a really good neutral base. And I'm just gonna tear some pieces. We'll see what we end up with. I try to kind of make them different sizes, but it doesn't matter too much. Put this back here while I get crazy. I'm gonna overlap these a bit. I'm gonna go over the center a bit. Sorry about that. My kitten is crying because she wants to make art with me. She thinks that she is missing something very exciting inside of here, even though she has everything that she needs out there, including a new toy. Next thing that I'm gonna do, and you can do this with white gesso, you can do this with acrylic. I'm just using, this is thick body acrylic. It's the white that I have within reach, which is always good. It's kind of how I roll, and I'm brushing this. Now, you could do this with a brayer. You could do this with a credit card, or an old hotel key card, any of those things. But what I'm doing is I'm just pushing back those words a little bit. And I didn't even let the matte medium dry. It doesn't matter. Actually, I think it's better because matte medium can be mixed into your paint to extend it. So it's perfect. Same thing if you used Mod Podge. You could do the same thing, actually. Okay, so there we go. We got it on. And then I kind of scraped it off. Okay, so I know I put it on and then I took it off. But this is about layers, right? So we've got the book page. We've got a layer of torn pages. And now we've got a layer of acrylic paint. And what I am going to do, I have found a paper that I really like. I believe that this is a Tim Holtz paper. One of those backgrounds that he has that are like 6 by 10. I think they're called backgrounds. And what I want to do with this is I want to make a vase, okay? And if you're, you know, worried, I'm gonna cut up about that high. I was out of the frame there for a minute, sorry. Old eyes, had to move it. All right, so what I have done is I've cut a rectangle. And now and it's not going to matter so much at the top, but it will matter at the bottom. Okay, so now I've cut this rounded edge because I don't want my vase to look like it's floating. Okay, so before I put down my floating vase, I'm gonna dig in my scrap basket here for something. Here we go. See this? It's a tabletop. Who knew, right? So what I'm going to do with this, I think I only want it to be about half as deep. I'm just going to cut this. And I'm going to get my matte medium out. I'm going to go along the bottom. Doesn't matter if this is dry. I'm going to put the edge I cut down because it's uneven and my page is torn and it looks uneven, and it's okay. And I'm going to put down my tabletop. The edge that's up is the edge that was either the edge from, this again is one of those Tim Holtz ones, from the store when I bought it, or the paper cutter when I trimmed it. So, and I'm putting, I gotta make sure that that doesn't have white paint in it because I had that. I'm putting matte medium over this. Okay, matte medium over the top. And then I'm deciding where I want my vase, and I want it, you know, kind of in the middle, but what I'm going to do here is I'm going to put it just left of the fold because I don't want it exactly in the center of the page, because I don't particularly care for things that are so I don't mind if it's a little off, and I don't want this big piece going across the fold, okay? And I may have gotten some white paint here, but I'm okay with that because same thing down here. This is all about layers, okay? So what I'm gonna do now, because I need for this to dry a little bit, I'm gonna set this aside for just a moment, and I'm gonna use this napkin. And when you use a napkin, napkins have layers, okay? And you wanna peel the layers apart, okay? And I just got that really easily. If you can't get them, I've seen people put tape on their finger and thumb and pull like this and it comes apart, but sometimes there's one of these white layers underneath. Sometimes there are two. You can see on this one there were two, and for some reason luck was on my side and I got it. And what I am going to do is I am going to use some of these flowers to make a floral arrangement in my vase. And so this is a really great trick. I don't remember where I saw it. I apologized for that, but you can go around with water. Oh, I didn't want to rip quite that much. Okay, there we go. I want that one. Go around with water to whatever you want. Now I ripped this one in half, but it's okay because I'm just going to glue it back together. So we're going to take this piece and the bottom of this and more water. I want these. I think I want this stuff too. So let's just take all of this, and it breaks. The nice thing about this is that you're not trying to tear and rip through. And if you do rip through, you can just glue it back together, but you don't have to cut it. And these little edges go down really nicely with the glue, whatever glue you're using. I'm going to take this one. And I'm taking this leaf because we're going to need some leaves. Just a few. Okay, so there's a my big like focal, and I'm gonna take a little bit of this purpley stuff here. Okay, and a lot of water there. I got a little heavy-handed. It's okay. But I want these two leaves. Now, I've kind of shredded this napkin, but I keep it. I set it aside. I let all the edges dry. And I use it. Okay, so let's see what we're making here. My fingerprints there. If I'm ever missing, uncover it. Okay, so now what I'm going to do I'm just going to go for it. You can lay them all on here and plan it out. And if you're a planner, please plan away. Okay? But I said the other day, I'll say it again. This is your journal. It's not the Mona Lisa. Not that you shouldn't treasure it, be proud of it, whatever, but it doesn't have to be perfect. So there we go. There's one. And I kind of want these behind here. So we're gonna, maybe I can get them to, we'll just have, it's a big arrangement. Okay, and then I grabbed these little buds. Hold on, let me get the first bud that I like broke, because I kind of liked this one. And there it is. Kind of tore that, but it's okay. I'm going to leave that little bud and we're going to fix it. I promise. Okay. Now I'm going to put these leaves here. And I don't know if you're one of those people, but you know, when you make a vase of flowers, do you just love having them like hanging all over the place? I do. I'm gonna pull this one off. All right, let's put these down like this. Let's stick that one right there. There we go. All right, so the great thing about this, I mean, other than these are definitely layers, this, you know, satisfies your desire for layers. The other thing that this does is it frees you from having to draw a vase of flowers, because look what we have here. I would like this vase of flowers. I would be very happy if this vase of flowers were on my table. So here we go. The next thing that we need to do is we need to dry. Okay, I dried this and there are some wet spots still, but it's okay. It can still be a little wet. And what I want to do is I want to start adding some depth to this. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to take this Pitt pen, and these are those Pitt Artist pens that I have mentioned, and I'm putting it down, and then I'm just coming right behind with a wet brush, and I'm just kind of feathering it out, okay? And what this does is it gives you a shadow and it gives you some depth, okay? So now, you know, because I owned a paint your own pottery studio for almost a decade, and my customers would come in and you know, they would pick something, a sample, because of course I painted a million samples because I wanted everybody to want to paint those things. And a lot of people would say, I could never make that. I can't paint like you. And I would show them with simple tools, you know, like how I did it, how I did it with a brush or a stencil or a photograph. You know, if you can't draw, then I had tracing paper. I had a lot of options. I mean, I also sold some of those things, but that wasn't the point. The point was inspiration, and that's what this is about. That's why making these videos is so much fun for me, because if there's one person watching who looks at this and says, I can't draw a flower to save my life, but I've seen some beautiful napkins. And if you're looking for beautiful napkins and you're in the United States, oh my gosh, go to Home Goods. I have a bit of a collection. My husband knows when we're out, and I'm like, oh, do you want to go to Home Goods? It means that I'm going to buy napkins. Okay, so we just put like a little shading. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take a piece of bubble wrap, and I'm just going to tear a piece apart here. I don't know if you have tried this before, you know that it's fun and it works. And if you haven't tried it, then you should. And what I'm going to do here is I am going to lay this bubble wrap. I tried to make it about the size of my vase. I'm going to lay this bubble wrap down here and lift it up. And look at that. I'm going to rub that a little bit. I'll fix this later. But what I've done now is I have created a highlight. Look at that. That's very, very artsy. And I did it with bubble wrap. Like, who doesn't have bubble wrap? Okay? So, don't be afraid. That's important. The other thing I've got, this color is Naphthol Red Light. This is from Liquitex. I'm going to squeeze out a tiny little bit of it. And I know that this color is going to work for me because I like to paint. I'm the girl with a brush. And I have mixed this before, so I know what I'm going to get. And I am coming in here where I have a little bit of this light peachy pink. Okay, mine's a little different, but not much, and I'm okay with it. This peachy pink through here. And I am painting this. I'm gonna paint this bud. Okay, paint a little on this bud. Then I'm gonna, what I did was I mixed it with white until I got the nice pink, and then I went back in and I added just another brush full of that Naphthol red, okay? So I lightened it up, and then I made it darker. And now I just went in and I got another brush full, and I made it a little darker, okay? So this doesn't have to be scary. It doesn't have, like, you know, and if this makes you nervous and you think, oh my gosh, I can't do that. I can't stick my brush in that paint and mix that color because I kind of like what I did here with this lovely napkin, then don't do it. No one will ever know. The thing about this that I do like is that what this does is it now looks like I may have painted that rose, which is kind of an exciting thing. Oops. And I also have, so that was an acrylic, heavy body acrylic. This is an acrylic gouache. If you haven't used these are fun. The only thing about these is, you know, once you get them, they're pretty stuck. It is not coming out, of course. I think the lid might be on it, the inside lid. But let's see what we can do here. I'm putting a little bit of that violet into this, okay? Now, it is not the exact same color as what is in my napkin, but it doesn't matter. Because this is my art, see? I'm just putting these colors in here, and then I'm going to come over here, and I have a round brush, okay? When I had my ceramic studio, I did this all the time. I think I glued everything to the back of my napkin. Okay, there we go. I did this all the time, okay? So you take your brush, this round brush. I'm trying to find what number it is. It's a number 6. You lay your brush down. Lay your brush down. Pick it up. Lay your brush down. Pick it up. You just keep doing this. You can make a million flowers by laying your brush down and picking it up. It's a great way to make a hydrangea. You can make some forget-me-nots. And I'm basically, and if you liked the colors of the napkin before I did all of that, I'm sorry. But I'm just taking this now and I'm blending all of it, and I'm going to take a little more here. And I'm going in to, basically I just took everything that was on my brush and I now added some white to it. And I'm not even following the exact colors of the napkin, but I'm putting a lighter hue where there's a lighter hue and a darker hue where there's a darker hue. And it looks like I painted that flower, because I did. And you can too. Now, this has kind of a dark center here. I need to close this. Anytime that you use something, don't leave it open on your desk. Trust me. All right. What I'm going to do next is, because we're layering, right? We're still layering. I am going to take, this is sap green, permanent acrylic ink. Okay. And I'm going to put a little out. You definitely want to close these. Do not leave these open. If you knock over that bottle of ink, you will say bad words. I promise. So now I'm taking this sap green, okay? And you can see it's very liquidy. It's also transparent. So you can still see the shades of my leaves underneath. And here, look, I didn't even stay in the lines. It's okay. I'm going over this because what I want to do is I want to brighten this a little bit. I'm going to go here. I'm going to paint over some of these. This is like adult coloring. But you just started with a napkin instead of one of those books that are supposed to like help you relax. But I love this sap green color. And I'm going to put some of that in the center here. And I like that it just it brightens things a little bit. Okay. And I'm going to show you one more thing. Okay, so you know my book page here, right? And we have these leaves that are kind of, I don't know. We're just going to tear a leaf. I'm going to tear a leaf. They're not even. They're kind of rounded. Here's a leaf. And you know how sometimes you have a vase of flowers and there's a leaf that falls off and it's laying on the counter when you get home? I think I might have to make this one look a little more leafy. That's possible, but it'll be fine because I'm going to put this here. Here's our leaf. This is our leaf that fell off. I put the matte medium over it, but now here's my old book page. And I have a leaf on the counter that fell. And I'm going to take my green Stabilo. I'm going to scratch into it a little bit because the Stabilo is closer to the dark green that was in the napkin. So now we have this. We want a little stem for it. We can get all crazy. Okay, so there we go. Now, can dry this. And now I'm going to take, because we're layering. So if you're still with me, thank you, because we're on a journey and we're layering. This is Turquoise Deep acrylic ink. And what I have decided is, I got to get the green out of the brush. I'm going to take a little bit of this blue. This is, okay, I'm scared. This is the scary part. Here we go. I want to put a little bit of color in my background. But see, I did that and I'm kind of like, meh, I think it might be too close to my other greens. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take water and I'm going to keep brushing and brushing and brushing. So this is the nice thing about this acrylic ink, because I started out with that really dark turquoise. Okay, take a little bit of that turquoise and I'm going to go up here. Then I'm going to get some water and I'm just going to pull it out. So, and then I'm just going to let it dry because it might look like old wallpaper. There we go. It's really going to grab the napkin, so just be ready. But the matte medium helps it to not soak into everything. So there we go. I'm just pulling these edges away. And we can't forget these little parts because we want it to be cohesive. So I just put water, more water on my brush. I don't mind that it's getting a little darker in the crease there. Okay. And now what I'm going to do, because instead of getting my should have grabbed my sepia, but let's see what we can do here. I just wanted a little more dimension in that leaf. Okay, so now, don't be afraid. I have one more layer. And what I want to do, so this is alcohol ink. And this color is Stream. And this is another one. Don't leave this laying on your desk without the lid on it, okay? And I'm not going to do this over my book. Okay, I'm going to slide my book forward here. I'm going to do this. See, there it went on my finger. All right, I'm going to take this and I'm just going to put some little dots here and there. I'm rolling the back of my finger. I just want a little bit. If you're really brave, okay, I'm going to be really brave. If you're really brave, you can tap on the bottle very lightly. See that little drop that just flew? Very, very lightly. You don't want to tilt it too much. I'm like closing my eyes to do this. I just want you to know. Okay. This is like the equivalent of splatters. Now you see how big they got? I can come in with a paper towel and I can lift it a little bit and I can stop it. The reason that I can do that is because I have matte medium over my paper underneath. So if you do that without matte medium sealing everything, it will penetrate and you won't be able to do that. So the next one that I'm going to use, this is a very pretty one, Flamingo. Okay, and I kind of want the flamingo near the flowers. There we go. I'm just going for it. Okay, so there we go. Some drops of flamingo. I'm going to go in again. I'm going to do this. There we go. I kind of stopped it. Okay. I think this is all getting dry. And I want to put some centers here. And I'm just taking my Signo Uniball and I'm putting some centers in these flowers. Okay. This makes a big difference. Okay, I'm going to do one more thing. If you don't like it, just close your eyes. I'm going to outline a couple of them. Not all of them. Not perfect. Just a couple. Okay. And, you know, if you feel like you need more, see, when we get this pen out and we start doodling, I could doodle all day long. It's very bad. Okay. Okay, I said you didn't have to do all of them, but I did all of mine, but, you know. The other thing that you could do is if you wanted, like right here, I could add on this little stem, I could add some little white berries. I only have one of these stems here. It's okay if you only have one sprig of berries. You know how the florist like always cheaps out on that one thing that you're like, oh, that's so pretty. I only got one of them. And then, you know, you get 45 of the thing that you didn't like as much. So there we go. We can do that. All right. The last thing that I would like to do is to put some words here. These are sayings from Tim Holtz, Ideology. And these are the metallic stickers. I think these they're black and white in here, and I think I want a white one. Let's see. It's always so hard. Here, I'm gonna do this one. Okay. I have chosen, it's dry here. This is my happy place. So stick this down. And I don't try to stick them straight. I don't try to line them up. I do try to get them in order so they make sense, but I don't care if they're wonky. Upside down could be exciting, but I'll flip that one. This is my happy place. Okay. And I'm actually gonna come in with my Pitt pen and a little bit of water. And there you go. All right. My happy place. So I hope that you stayed with me until the end. And I didn't count the layers. If you counted the layers, put the number down in the comments because I'll go back and count. But make sure you let me know if you are counting layers. And if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe.